Kareem, give him a nice countdown.
He's still. Nice block. Wow, great penetration, surge through the middle of that. Michigan State, first and goal.
Jason, adjust your mic towards your mouth.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Good evening. Welcome to Inside the Locker Room. Once again, I am your co-host, Brian Musalam. Alongside me is my co-host, the Honorable Jason Strayman. How you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic again today. How you doing, Brian? Yes.
Are
yes,
you,
sir. I'm excited.
Hydrated?
I pounded the water all week long.
Are you?
Just for you.
Are you?
No more cramps.
Got the air condition? Got the electrolytes?
Got the electrolytes, got some Gatorade, got all that stuff in.
Okay.
I'm good to go.
You look good.
Let's roll, baby.
You look good. Thank you,
you.
everybody, for joining us. We are here now on our, what is this, fourth show?
Yeah.
Wow, it's been a lot of fun.
Starting to move along.
I couldn't hold my laugh last week. I mean, when you cramped up,
Why you got to bring up old stuff, man?
Come on. That was a highlight of my week.
We're moving forward. It's like we're taught in football in that locker room, like, you don't worry about the last play. It's the next one.
All right.
Let's move forward. Let's go,
move
baby.
forward. So we got Lions at their first preseason game.
Yeah. How about them
Lions?
Football's here.
Yeah,
it is.
How horrible and horrendous is the preseason? I mean,
it's the evaluation process. They cut it down from 4 to 3.
Did you see the Ravens streak?
Ravens
I think they got
streak?
like 26 preseason wins in a row. It's like an NFL streak. Why?
Does that translate into
John
Super Bowl?
Harbaugh? Why? I mean, it must be like a culture thing to him. You know, like
they got to start fast.
Yeah, they got to start fast and stuff like that.
Well, they got a fast guy under center. I know that.
Oh, they do.
Oh, man.
He can fly. So, Lions' first preseason game. What did you think, Jason?
I mean, there was some good and some bad. I mean, I thought that, Jared Goff was a guy who pretty much showed what he has been with L.A. He's a dink and dunker guy, 7-9, 56 yards. The one bright spot, I think, was after his first series where he went in a 3-and-out and was sacked on a third down, which you'd never do. Don't give up sacks on third down. He countered that with a 18-play drive, which, for the record books, is the longest drive he's ever had in the NFL. 18 plays for Jared Goff, wearing the Honolulu blue and silver. So that was good. I think Penei Sewell is a guy who showed some flashes, but had a little rough go early.
I don't – preseason, we don't get much
Oh, yeah, there's Penei Sewell right here.
Yeah, he got beat a couple times, I think.
Around
that's
the
rookie
corner.
on
rookie right there.
And I was watching some film on him. I saw he's got to work on his hand placement. But he's going to be a hell of a player. I mean, there's no question. When you watch the tape on him and you see his athleticism and his feet, and I know he got beat by the other rookie, the first-round draft pick, that Russo. I mean, he's going to be an outstanding. I firmly believe Penei Sewell is going to be a great player.
Yeah, don't judge him too quick on this. He's been out of football for a full year, too.
No, he has been out of football. That's right. He's 20 years old.
Yeah, he's a baby.
That is absolutely remarkable.
He's a baby. Did not play last year due to COVID and just trained. And you know as well as I do, you cannot get better at football in the gym. You only get better at football playing out there in full pads.
You cannot replicate game speed.
No.
You can't.
No.
And I think that's the thing that is the takeaway from the preseason, especially when you have a young team, that the reps, the live bullets are extremely important. And one thing about preseason you see is a lot of underneath stuff, short routes, long drives, quick drops, 3-step, boom, because they don't want to get their quarterback hurt.
Oh, well, you trying to say you trying to take up for Jared Goff? Because I saw some other quarterbacks that was throwing that ball way downfield.
I mean, look, I'm not a big Jared Goff fan. I mean,
come on now.
I think he got traded for. I mean, obviously Sean McVay saw something. When you gave up 3 first-rounders. I mean, Goff's. When we're on the East Coast, so when you see that he's played in a Super Bowl, and you see 3 first-rounders, I still think the Lions got the better of that. I do.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many weapons Goff really has and how he's going to succeed. They don't have much on the outside, really, when you look at it.
Who's the receivers? Can anybody name 2 receivers for the Lions?
Kenny Galladay? No, he's gone.
Bye-bye. He's bye-bye. Kenny's gone.
He's at the Giants.
Kenny's in New York, baby. Yeah. He's not in Detroit anymore.
He is, though.
Can
you name a receiver?
Calvin Johnson. Who
Can you
else?
name a receiver? I can't name one.
Yeah, it's a few of them.
Golden Tate? No, he's gone.
Golden.
I can't name one receiver, but
I just looked them all up, and I don't recognize any of their names. But they have an opportunity to make the fans know who they are. With this season coming up. But right now they don't have anybody.
Here's my biggest complaint with the Lions. It's a culture. It's 4th and 10. Minute and 50 left in the fourth quarter. Okay? And it doesn't matter if it's
we got this queued up.
You got this queued up for us? It doesn't matter if it's 1982, 1992, 2002, preseason, regular season, first string, 7th string, 6th string. It's the same thing over and over and over. And when I was watching that game, or I caught the end of it, minute and 50 left, 4th and 10, in the formidable Jake Fromm under center. You guys missed the play. Go back the play before. When you got to get a stop right there, 4th and 10. I mean, as a Lions fan, how many times?
It is right there.
How many times have you seen
Don't
this?
let the guy get over top, man.
How many times do we got to tell you, don't let the guy get behind you?
Look at that, man.
I mean, how many times? Does it matter who's on the field? And does it matter what year?
Did he have the safety help over top? What's going on, man?
I mean, does it really, really matter? This is the thing.
Look at him.
It's 4th and 10. You got to make a play. You got to make a stop.
You're up by 2.
You got to get off the field. You're up by 2. And lo and behold, the guy gets behind him. It's a culture thing because it's the same thing over and over.
I mean, we got different players, different coaches, different trainers. We got all kinds of different people out here. And what you're telling me is the culture made this guy convert to 4th and 10 on the Lions. And then here we go.
I don't know, Jason. You tell me.
And then here
what is it? How come I've been seeing that play for 40 years?
There we go.
How come I've been seeing that for 40 years? 35 years.
You're just sick and tired of being sick and tired?
I'm just saying. Tell me why.
Look at
all the pieces change. This is preseason.
And the results are the same.
Let's really, when you think about it, it's quite remarkable. I mean, the culture of the program, it doesn't matter who's there. That's my point.
Yeah.
That always seems to happen.
It's a shame.
How do we fix that culture? Listen, I'm hoping they win. I actually like Dan Campbell. I like his press conferences. I agreed with him. I was, people were questioning his 2-minute clock management at the end of the game. I didn't agree. I thought he was perfectly fine.
I'm going to tell you what. I've been getting them venti at Starbucks with the double shots in them.
Oh, because of him?
Yeah. He made me get the venti double shot. I was sleeping on the double shot.
He's a guy. He just looks like
2 of them?
He just looks like he just looks like a guy I want to play for. I mean, that's the kind of guy he looks like. I mean, he is, big, bare knuckle, chew, dips. He looks like he'll mix it up with the boys. I mean, he looks like a player's coach. Huh?
Remember them up downs?
Yeah, they were doing up downs, like we did at Little League. But that's different. That's a different story. I mean, they questioned his clock management at the end where he was throwing the ball on the last. And he said, we're trying to get our quarterback looks. We're trying to create situational looks and see how our players react. And if they stopped us, fine. Let's see if the defense can stop them. So I have no problem with that. I totally am on board with that and completely see that as acceptable. But the culture thing is
you're going to hold him accountable to that, though, in the regular season. This is preseason right now. But if he messes up on that clock,
if he does that in the regular season, then we're
yeah.
Yeah,
it's the same stuff they talked about Jim Caldwell, the clock man. Everybody wants to talk about clock management.
When you're a head coach and you got 10 other coaches in your ears and stuff is going through, you need to hire somebody to manage the in-game management, right? Has that red flag, that has tells you how many timeouts you got, down and distance, time on the clock, 2-minute. I mean, there's so many things going through your head as a head coach. That's why you see a lot of these head coaches. They're just not good with clock management, and you see a lot of flub ups at the end of 2-minute, end of 4-minute, and you wonder, wow, that looks so basic. Why did they just do that? Or why did they? Why didn't he throw the flag there?
There's a lot of emotions going on out there.
A lot of emotions, a lot of people in your ear. So it's also a time for him to practice, right? He's his first game as a head coach, and I don't clock management at the end. That wasn't the issue. He wanted to create a certain situation, which I totally agree, and then put his defense in a certain situation. But it just goes back to it. It's the same thing we've been seeing over and over and over. And I mean, winning preseason games is not going to change the culture, because in 0-8 we were 4-0 in the preseason, and then we ended up 0-16. So I mean, that's not. You don't need to win in the preseason to change the culture, but this is a common reoccurrence over and over and over. But you said the players change, the coaches change, the trainers change, which
trainers change.
I saw that the Lions, Dan Campbell fired the trainer, and which I found to be very interesting. I was very intrigued by that move, and. When
what's intriguing about that? That means the guy wasn't getting the guys on the field, right?
Yeah.
Is that what trainers in the NFL are paid to do? Get guys on the field. That's the bottom line. That's his job description. There's nothing else. Get guys on the field.
Their job is to manage the health of the players and make sure that they play when they're healthy.
That's what we feel.
Yeah. As
a player, but as from the guy who cuts his check. What do they want to know?
I mean, yeah, they want him on the field, but they're also, it's different. The body now is looked at and regarded differently. I mean, they're having a lot of soft tissue injuries. DeAndre Swift, his groin was out for how long? He's been out for a while. So it seems like they've had a lot of preventable injuries. And then Coach Campbell chalked it up to, miscommunication. And that's why he's bringing in his own guy. But clearly, I found that move very interesting. At the beginning of the year, it's very, very rare at camp to fire a trainer.
It's extremely rare.
Extremely rare.
Yeah.
To fire a trainer at your camp. And this guy was at the University of Michigan. He was at, I think, New England Patriots. And, they're scapegoating somebody for injuries. And I found that, they had a bevy of guys miss because of soft tissue injuries. Really preventable stuff, not season-ending stuff.
Yeah, nowadays, they can train and treat those injuries before they happen.
Well, I think that's what he was, I think that's the point, right? It's how are you training? What are you training like? Why are we having so many soft tissue injuries? How are we rehabbing these things? What are we doing to prevent these things? And, these are, you're seeing sports science, and it comes to become a lot more prevalent in football.
PhDs, man, kinesiology.
Yeah, I mean, do you agree with the firing of the trainer?
I don't know. I don't know enough about what's going on the inside
right now.
To tell you,
the firing of the trainer?
Get rid of the trainer or not. I think it's odd because typically what the trainer's trying to do is get the guy. Hey, look, if the trainer, if I'm a player, I want the trainer to look out for my best interest. If I'm an owner or a general manager, then I want the trainer to look out for my best interest there too. So there's sometimes a conflicting.
Yeah, but your best interest is keeping your players. Your best interest is keeping your players healthy. I mean, there's it's not just rushing them back out on the field. It's a long year.
Yes.
NFL 17 weeks. Players were pissed off.
But as you said, it's lingering. It's lingering. The lingering injuries are the ones that get you fired.
It's the lingering injuries are the ones that get you fired. It's not the season-ending injuries. You are right about that. The season-ending injuries give you a built-in excuse. Look at your management. When they tell them to
get off scholarship, when are you going to get that red jersey off, when are you going to get off the bike? You remember those conversations? Are you ever going to get out and practice? They said some other things about your manhood. Things like that. Like the mind game.
1995. I mean, a little bit different time, right? You put the red jersey on.
Yeah, they don't do that no more, right?
You put the red jersey on.
They don't challenge guys' manhood.
George Perlis making
in the NFL anywhere. Is that right, guys?
No.
Did somebody verify that no one?
You can't treat them like that anymore. You don't do those things. That doesn't
You just
work.
fire the guy if they don't get on the field. If he don't get on the field, then we're not going to be mad at you, Mr. Player, but you're gone.
It's a buildup. It is a buildup. It's a 8-month program and getting the player to that point.
Yeah.
That he's not happy with. That's what it is.
It's the long term.
It's
okay.
It's all of
It's
it. It's sports science. It's nutrition. It's how you train. It's going from 0 to 1,000
miles an hour.
Yeah, and how fast can you do it? That's not how you do it in football. That's why they had so many injuries last year. No preseason. Went first game, and everybody got tore up the first few weeks.
Saw the same thing in the NBA.
You saw
all that, the
ankles,
consolidated
knees, everything get tore up. But the timing was curious to me because, you're in training camp. You have a long season ahead of you, and for you to get rid of your head trainer right now, I found it to be very interesting. But I guess what it shows you is
who's listed. Who's injured? Who's injured?
Do we have a list of guys that are injured? Were you guys able to dig that up? No, because there was quite a few little guys, little knickknacks here and there of soft tissue stuff, and so obviously. I think Dan, Coach has his guy probably he wants to bring in as well. I mean, I
think it's cooked up? He knows somebody somewhere?
I would think so. I mean, I think that's part of it.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. I mean, it's really changed. The landscape of being an athletic trainer now for a football team or a basketball team is completely different than it was even 5 years ago. So, hey,
but
you can't judge them on this.
It's just a different time. I mean, the players are coddled. They're babied. There's a nutritionist. There's a ton of sports science, ton of technology. I mean, it's so different.
Your body is your business. Cold tubs.
Your body is your body is your business. I mean, there's so much money invested nowadays into a player's body for performance enhancement. Besides HGH, like Tom Brady, like you said, Tom Brady was on.
I said no. You said the GOAT was on the HGH. We're gonna talk about that again.
I didn't. No, you said it.
No, you said
right, so
you said that.
There's a lot that goes into
That's
preparing.
The GOAT.
There's a lot. There's a lot that goes into preparing these bodies and getting them ready.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it boils down to. And so clearly there was a ton of miscommunication when it comes to the training. But I just found that to be obviously very interesting. And what else I find interesting? And I know this is going to sound political.
Here we go. Here we go.
I saw that the Saints.
The Raiders too. Requiring vaccinations.
How many more to follow?
We don't know what's going on here. Did we get a word yet? An official word?
We didn't get a word. No.
But yeah, this is a tough one here. Should stadiums require fans to be vaccinated or masked?
That's a very good question. What do you think?
I think you got to follow the science behind it.
Oh,
myself.
There you go again. Why don't you get Fauci on TV?
I'm just telling you, got to follow the
CDC,
science.
Pull up their recommended guidelines, and let's talk about them.
Yeah, I got the vaccination.
I want to follow this. I got vaccinated.
I got vaccinated.
I did too. I mean,
I did. Because I don't. Because you know why? Because I care about you.
I don't.
And I care about you guys.
And I care about my dad.
All the people around me. And I wanted to see my father.
I called my doctors, my medical professionals, people that I trust, and they recommended that I do it. So I did it. I took their advice. I didn't read Facebook. I didn't read QAnon. I didn't read any of the politics.
QAnon?
And I took,
QAnon?
Yeah. All about just all the, all that stuff that's been out about the vaccination is crazy. But what do you think about the policy, though? Are you in favor of requiring all the fans must be vaccinated to enter, or what?
I'll tell you what. The NFL is doing something that Joe Biden isn't doing. I mean, that's taking a huge stand right there and saying you cannot enter the pearly gates of the NFL stadiums without proving that you've been vaccinated. That is a standard so high now. That's a standard that we don't have in our society anywhere else besides schools, which they're near and dear to yours and my heart.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So and that brings a lot of controversy. You're talking about people being in uproar about their human rights. Like this is like a my body, my choice situation right now, and you're talking about, well, unless you want to come, you better be this in order to come into my stadium. It's their world now. It's private property to come into an NFL stadium. So they have that authority to dictate what they want to happen on their premises.
So do you think we're going to see boycotts across the country?
Stay home and watch it at home.
Why do you think we're going to see it, though?
No, I don't. That's rough right there, man. I don't know about the boycotts. There may be people out there that protest. I do think there are people who will feel strongly enough about it to protest, but boycott, no. No. Look, NFL runs. In football, college football, NFL, NBA.
Do you agree with the policy?
College basketball.
Do you agree with the policy? Do you agree with the Saints policy and the Raiders policy?
I agree with it. If that's their prerogative. If they want to say that and drop that, so be it. Now it's
Why
up
are
to
you
the
dodging
people.
the question?
Because listen, let me ask you a question. Will you show your vaccination when you go there? Will you do that?
I would. Yeah,
You would?
I would.
Yeah.
Out of respect for the other people.
So if you're the owner of you're Sheila, you and old Sheila right now sitting down and saying, okay, what we gonna do? You're on the stadium authority, aren't you? What are you gonna do?
Why you gotta bring that?
What are you gonna do? This is more relevant to you than me.
Why you gotta bring that up? What does that got to do?
You can sit down with Sheila and say, "Hey, Sheila,
in theory, you're right."
In theory, I'm damn. Yes, I'm right. So, so answer the question. He won't put me in the hot seat about this.
Listen,
hey, listen. That's a high bar, man. That's a high bar.
My policy would be you show proof of vaccination or you wear a mask.
Yeah.
That would be my policy.
And how are you going to police the mask?
Out of respect for other people.
How are we going to police the mask? Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's another question. I don't know if you can
everybody's
police
going to have a beer and a hot dog in their hand.
I don't know if you can police it. But if you're asking me if I'm going to make a policy and I'm going to be in charge of a policy of a stadium, I think that's a good that is a fair, that's a common ground. Somebody, each side giving and taking, respecting everybody's personal preference, as well as knowing that it's my house, it's my show, I'm going to make the rules, and if you like it, you come. If you don't, you don't. And
they can't listen. They cannot.
They're going to lose money. They're going to lose. I'm telling you, there are going to be
You
people
can't tell
protesting.
players, if you're not vaccinated, we're going to make you forfeit. You're going to cost your team a playoff position or whatever. You can't say that and then say, okay, the people that are coming in, we don't care.
Why can't you?
You can't do that.
Why?
You cannot do that. You can't do that. Because
you're paying the players. They work for you.
This is a
and
lawsuit.
The fans are the consumer.
No. The lawsuit is going to be.
They're paying the bills.
When the
There's
Vikings.
A big difference.
Let's go to the real situation now. The Vikings got Kirk Cousins, who's starting quarterback.
Who we love, MSU.
We love him. He is choosing not to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Okay? But the Vikings ownership allows people that are not vaccinated into the stadium. They're 7-8. They need one more win to get into the playoffs, right? And Kirk goes down. And they've allowed all these people into the building. They are in a dome facility. Who's right now? Is the NFL justified? They're not justified in doing that and say, Kurt, you got to sit there and we're going to fine you and withhold the win and make you have a forfeit. And you're
What's
out.
that got to do with Kirk Cousins? I don't understand. Like,
how
are you holding the fans to the same standard?
Because
as the
they're
players?
coming into the same building where they're coming to watch your product.
They ain't gonna get COVID from Kirk Cousins throwing on the 50-yard line.
Yes, they can. It's in the air. It's airborne.
Are you serious?
It's airborne.
What are you, a doctor now?
It's 100,000 people in the stand.
You're comparing
breathing all over the place. Where'd you get it?
You're comparing an employee to a consumer.
They can't.
Those comparisons are not fair.
They can't do it.
Those
they
are
can't
apples
allow
and
it.
oranges.
But you've opened the door. Hey, listen. You know all the lawyers out here. If it was a lawyer on this damn panel right now, he'd tell you, "Oh yeah, there's an opening there." And the NFL is thinking ahead. That's all they're doing.
Wait.
They're thinking ahead.
Whoa. How are they thinking ahead? You're talking because they're thinking of their pocketbook if they're making all the players, making it very, very difficult on the players and insisting they get vaccinated.
What do you think this decision's about?
It's money.
Yeah,
of course.
That's what I'm saying.
But the consumer is different than the employee. You can't treat them the same.
They don't want the employee to have grounds to say you didn't do everything that you could to keep me safe. At the facility, they are testing them all the time. Everybody that's around them has been tested. Everybody's vaccinated. Everybody that's around
them on a day-to-day. You're saying a lawsuit by the players that they didn't protect me from?
Yeah, you can't. I'm saying Kirk Cousins, the team itself, is saying, NFL, we're suing you because you didn't have the right to kick us off or give us a forfeit when you allowed when we allowed all these people here in the stadium. You know, like the ownership did. The team didn't. The ownership did.
I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that.
There's a separation from the field and the front office.
I'm not buying that. There is no lawsuit from a player because the fans are not vaccinated. I mean, I don't know what you're talking. Look, in America, anybody can sue anybody.
Are you kidding me?
Okay, anybody can sue anybody. I get it. I totally get it. But that's not.
I mean, what country you live in?
We got a question on the table. You're asking me. I gave my position. You can't. The consumer and the employee are two different things. I don't think you can treat the same. I'm here. Let me ask you this though. The Saints and the Raiders are requiring vaccination. Okay, those are the first two teams that are requiring you to get vaccinated. How many are going to protest and say, "I'm not going"? Will they see a drop in attendance? Is the stadium going to be full of Democrats?
Nope.
Are we going to have 100,000, 52,000 Democrats in a black hole? Wherever they're in Vegas now.
They're in Vegas now.
Yeah.
That stadium's going to be full just because it's in Vegas. Yes, they ain't worried about it, man. They're not worried about it.
Are we going to have a stadium full of Democrats? That's what I want to know. Will Republicans attend the game?
You're going to have a stadium full of fans.
Okay,
that don't care about.
My point is,
they want to be there to cheer.
This issue's become political. Don't tell me it's not political.
It's going to be a stadium full of Democrats and all Republicans stay at home. Is that what? That's what we're going to do.
I'm just saying, if you're in Louisiana,
we got both people on the field. We got both Democrats, and Republicans in the front office.
You're in a red state. You're in a red state in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Will the Saints suffer in attendance? I mean, listen, winning you go 11-0, you're not suffering anything. But how many protests will there be? What's your take on that?
Oh man, listen, Louisiana.
You still haven't answered my question.
There's going to be protests.
Do you agree with their policy? I'm the chairman of the stadium authority. I'm telling you what my policy would be.
What's that?
Ford Field. Show proof of vaccination or wear a mask.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
So do you agree with the Saints and Raiders policy? That's my question to you. It's a very simple question.
To show vaccination records, you got to prove it to get into the stadium.
Yeah.
That's their rule.
Yeah. Do you agree with that rule?
Yes.
Will we have a stadium full of Democrats?
Who knows? Who knows what anybody is anymore? You know,
right?
When they get behind that curtain,
but this issue's become so political.
When you get in there, I don't know what you vote for. You know, come on now.
You're back on to Kirk Cousins, who we love, and he's a Spartan. And
I love Kirk.
You're a player, right? I mean, you're a player, and you don't get vaccinated. And then he goes down, like you said. They're 7-8, and he goes down now. Now he can't play, and two other guys can't play because of it, because of contact tracing.
Yeah.
How are the rest of the team going to feel? Not Kirk Cousins, just any player that's not vaccinated.
It's hard. It's going to be heartbreaking.
Because and football is a game of accountability. When one guy jumps off sides, everybody gets penalized, and football is the ultimate team sport. If you have a player that you're relying on who's not vaccinated, and you're a teammate, and you're busting your tail, right? You win this game, you get in the wild card, and now your top 2 or 3 players, no action, not yet. Yeah, a lot of drama though. We'll fill you guys in later. A lot of drama. Anyway, so
I don't know.
What do you call it?
I don't know what you just said.
If I'm a player and I'm depending on a guy. And we're depending on 2 or 3 star players, and they can't play. And I've just busted my tail for 20 weeks. Yeah, I'm not happy, right? I'm counting on my teammate.
Players, police, players.
There we go, Doug Kester.
That's it.
Players, police, players.
That's what happens. That's why.
Doug, my buddy Doug loves that.
The
he
pressure
that line.
from the locker room can overwhelm a lot of people. Like what Kurt's doing. I mean, he's standing up against a hell of a storm here. Because
it is a storm. He
can cause them. We're talking legacy now.
He is the most important position on the field, and that is brewing. And if there are any games, if there are any hiccups there, that will he will face some serious heat and backlash from his team. I mean, they're any player. I mean, but especially your quarterback and your leader, and that's again like. People want to go to sports and they want to enjoy the game, and now
someone just said they were fully vaccinated. Who was that?
I did see 100%. I just saw a team fully vaccinated.
Redskins?
No, they're having one of the worst. They got 51%, I think. And please don't call them the Redskins anymore. They're not the Redskins.
I know.
But hold on, there was a team.
Washington football team.
There was 100.
I stand corrected.
100% of the players were vaccinated. But if you don't think that there's going to be protests and there's going to be issues and fans and it's my body, it's my right, and fights getting into stadiums in Louisiana, you watch. In Vegas, you watch.
So what you're proposing is people are going to show up without their vaccination records.
The same way they're doing on the planes. They're getting on the planes right now. They're paying for their ticket, their $500 ticket. They're boarding Delta Airlines, and they're fighting with the people.
Saying I ain't wearing my mask.
Delta, I believe.
How'd you even get on the plane? Because in the airports, they all ask you to wear the mask.
But they're going to. I mean, I think Delta issued a statement. They've had more fights this year on their flights than in their whatever 100-year history.
So those are the people that are going to be in the stand coming to the game.
There are people. I mean, there are people like that. They're going to go there just to make a political statement that they have the right. They bought their ticket. We want in, and we don't got to show proof. That's my body, my right. That's a private decision, and it's gonna create. You watch.
I got faith in American people. I
got faith in America. Listen.
I don't think there's going to be some kind of a overthrowing of football stadiums across the country. I don't think so. I think that people have a lot of pent up demand for being out and cheering for their team and having a tailgate, a hot dog, like you said, and a bratwurst and all those good things. Beers, beverages,
you obviously
Bloody Marys, all that stuff.
You've been living in La La Land for the last year.
They want to be out there.
Last 2 years, you've been living in La La Land.
No. They're going to come in there and cheer their team on, win, lose, or
they're
draw.
They're fist fighting going onto planes.
I love that. Yeah, those fights.
They're fist fighting.
But that's in every
They're going
NFL
to Delta.com. They're paying $580 for their flight to Fort Lauderdale, getting in the airport, putting their mask on, getting to board the plane, and taking it off and fighting.
You don't see the good in people, do you?
I do see the good in people.
You don't see
I
the
do.
good.
But the problem is everything nowadays
I have faith in you.
Has become so political.
I have faith in the people.
I have faith in you, Doug Kester.
Well, I have faith in the people.
I have faith in the people, but there's going to be people that are not going to like the policy.
Oh, of course. Stay home.
Let's talk about faith for a second, all right? This faith in this investigation into Deshaun Watson.
Oh, boy.
Read a very, very interesting article about how Deshaun Watson's accusers felt that they were being basically not believed, and the way that they were being questioned as if they felt the NFL investigators that were questioning them, and I'll quote attorney Tony Budsby, expressed concern that some of his clients with accusations against Texas quarterback Deshaun Watson, quote, did not feel like they were being respected, unquote, during the voluntary interviews with NFL investigators. 2 of Busby's clients have gone public with their objections to the process.
No, man, that can't be.
It's a very sensitive subject to me.
Yeah. You dealt with this
very sensitive.
when you were in your role as a board of trustee member for Michigan State, when you dealt with the Larry Nassar, the horrendous acts, heinous acts of that individual, Larry Nassar, and all the lives that he destroyed.
Yes.
So,
and it's
when you hear something like this,
it's a story I've heard 1,000 times. It's a story I heard 1,000 times from survivors, that they were not believed, that they were, the way that they were questioned, they were made to feel as if it was their fault. They were looking. I mean, I heard this story over and over, and I believe these stories. I believe this is how these young ladies felt, because I heard it from so many survivors. It was a common theme, reoccurring over and over and over and over. Does that mean that the NFL is trying to railroad this investigation? What do you think?
Hey, all I can do is go by what the 2 survivors of these allegations, and nothing's been proven in the court of law. But obviously something went on there.
I mean, you had 20-some different women from many different cities, right? I mean, how many different cities? And they all had very similar experiences. I know we live in a country where there's a presumption of innocence and a rush to judgment. But there's just too many common occurrences for these all to be coincidences, and I hate to jump to that conclusion.
Because you can't. You got to give him his due process now. Like, Deshaun has not been convicted of anything.
Hasn't been charged. Hasn't been convicted.
No. So we have to give him grace. And obviously the young ladies, we're talking about the investigators from the NFL are making them feel
who
uncomfortable.
have no police powers, who don't, no subpoena powers, making them feel that way. Kaepernick took a knee and they blew him to Pluto. Mm-hmm. Do I believe that the survivors felt that way and that's the way NFL investigators made them believe? 100% I do. No question about it. Will Deshaun Watson ever see the field again in the NFL? No. I believe Deshaun Watson will never play another down in the NFL. That's my belief.
Yeah, there's an undercurrent that is trying to get him back on the field, it looks like. That's what it looks like right here. He ain't getting
back on that field.
Right. That's when you hear this, NFL investigators, they're trying to get him on the field.
Because to the NFL, nothing's more important than the shield, the brand. I mean, it is. When you look at the culture around the NFL, the players' unions are weak. There are no guaranteed salaries. It's legacy teams. You got third-generation owners. It's a much more conservative ownership group than, say, the NBA group. More young, more progressive. You'll never see BLM on an NFL football field.
Does Deshaun Watson rank as a pure quarterback out of the 32?
He's top 7, 5, right? When you say so?
Think about that.
Yeah.
That's in the world.
Yeah.
There ain't 10 people on the planet that can do what he can do.
Yeah, no. I mean,
this is the forces that we're fighting. This is what you're fighting against.
I believe that he will never see the field again. That's what I believe. Do you think he will?
Yes, I think he'll get on the field. Probably
there is
if they don't bring a charge. If they don't bring a charge, he's going to play.
There is no way.
You cannot keep that man off the field if there's no charge.
No way.
How?
In hell does Deshaun Watson play another down in the NFL.
Hey, if he gets charged.
You have over 20 young women coming forward, all saying the same story from different cities. There is no way. There is no charges or not. They're more concerned about their reputation. The NFL is more concerned about the shield. There is nobody bigger than the shield, not even the GOAT.
So tell me this: why are they trying to make the young ladies feel bad?
That's a very good question. I mean, because they're trying to protect the brand, not Deshaun Watson. That's what I think. I think they're more concerned about the brand. They're more concerned about the shield and the embarrassment to the NFL.
Okay, so if they try to protect that and Deshaun Watson doesn't get charged, they're gonna leave him in limbo?
Why? What's his name when they had him on film? The running back from the Ravens. Did he ever play again?
Oh,
they had him in the elevator.
Ray.
What's the last name? He slapped her in the elevator.
Yeah, man. He punched his wife right in the elevator.
Oh, did he ever play again?
No, never did.
Never did.
Never.
I mean, that's different, obviously. And he,
Yeah, that was right there in front of everybody.
The
TMZ got that.
Yeah,
TMZ
you're
get a hold of
done.
it's over with.
How about the one that went to Cleveland? Oh, he's still playing. He was from Kansas City. The kid from Toledo. Was that running back? Didn't he have a domestic violence issue?
Yeah, he did.
He did. Is he still playing?
Yeah, Kareem Hunt. That's right. Kareem Hunt. Cleveland Browns, number 2.
You got over 20 women here that have come forward. And I don't care if you're top 3 quarterback in the world. He's not playing another down in the NFL. I do not believe that. He has 0 trade value right now. He has 0 chance to see in the field. And nobody wants to touch him. Nobody. But it will be interesting if they don't charge him, like you said. Where do we go from here? There's been all these, because right now all the claims are civil, right?
Yeah.
They're civil lawsuits. And how many have been filed? 20-something, or over
20 plus, yeah. So you're going to tell me that a guy's not going to be charged, and we're going to Kaepernick him? Is that what we're saying?
This is different, man. Kaepernick stood up for something he believed in.
Agreed.
This is totally different.
But he was railroaded the same, is what I'm saying. Like, they can't. You can't just hold the guy out.
You can't compare those two situations.
We're talking about the NFL only. No, not what they did. Not what they did. I'm talking the reaction by the NFL. They are not the same situation. Let me be very clear about that.
Yeah, they're not.
No, they're apples and watermelon. They weigh on different planets.
It took an incident like George Floyd for actually Roger Goodell to acknowledge that they were wrong and for him to apologize.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, they cut him a big old check, though, too.
Yeah, he got paid. He got paid.
Oh, yeah.
But the point is that these are different situations. There's the brand is to them the shield. Everybody is expendable. Everybody protects him.
That's true story.
Yeah, there's not. So you think he is going to see the field again?
If they don't charge him, he sees the field.
He doesn't. How in the world are you going to have 20 some survivors say he did X, Y, Z, and you let that man take the field again? You know, this is a topic that's very sensitive to me. How that guy should never. He should. There's no way in the world he'll see another down.
And you may be right. He should not. If these allegations are true, which I'm not saying they are or not, but the only place that we can know if they were true or not, the allegations that is if they bring the charges and charge him in court, and then he's allowed to plead.
So if they don't charge him and these civil lawsuits carry forward and they get into depositions and they get into testimonies and they leak these depths of all these.
Seal them.
Huh?
They got to seal them.
They leak them, and they get out. You think he's going to play it down in the NFL?
No, they didn't leak the depths that you guys were involved. They don't leak them depths. Not like that. Not at this level.
There ain't no way. Listen, man.
If he says it on, I mean, they did it to Bill Cosby. Absolutely, he's gone. If he gets in those depths and starts talking about that, and then hey, that's a different. That's another story there too.
I'm curious as to how his investigation went with the NFL. That's what's curious to me. You know?
It's still going, isn't it?
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Very interesting to see how this plays out. What will also be interesting to see is how things play out this year in East Lansing, Michigan. Jason and I headed up to practice on Friday, and Jason attended the scrimmage on Saturday.
Yeah.
And they had a nice. I'll tell you what, MSU, Mel Tucker's social media football team, they do a tremendous job. Can you play that Instagram post or that Twitter post?
NFL,
start over.
Preseason games, and so you can see what guys will do when the lights were on. You can see when it's time to put it all together.
We need some volume on this thing.
Well, in college, we don't have preseason games. We don't have preseason games.
I love it.
So what's the closest thing to a game that we have? A scrimmage. And that's what we got today. And then we're going to grade the tape. And we're going to be looking for these things. When the lights come on, what are you going to do?
Love that.
Gotta get it in. Let's get it.
Turn up, man. It's like a dream. Playing for the prize and we got a team. Yeah, passion in my veins, but we never leave. So what I got to feel when you run the league. Game time, hey, game time, oh, game time, hey, game time, oh. Head up in the game, head up in the yell, head up in the game, head up in the yell. Game time, hey, game time, whoa, game time, hey, game time, whoa. Head up in the game, head up in the yell, head up in the game, head up in the yell. Game time, game time, game time, letting go.
That's just a great post.
That's sweet.
That is a sweet post.
Yeah, they got it down. They got that social media thing rolling.
He's got that. Tuck's got that game rolling. Friday was very interesting. Was the pace?
Yeah.
That practice. I mean, the pace, the organization. They were flying all around, all rolling in different lines and different strings, and I mean, it was a hectic pace. 2 minutes. It was fantastic. It was so nice to be out there to see Coach D, to see all the boys again.
Yeah,
it was just awesome just to be. But I was,
Coach D'Antonio was on campus.
Yeah. Coach D showed up there.
Good to see him.
But it was great to see him. But I tell you, the speed and the eyeball test, right? When you look this year's team, they're beginning to pass that eyeball test, right? You see the size difference. You see the linemen, the O-line, the D-line. You see the, when you look at a team, when you're on the field, you can, when you walk by a football team, I'll never forget just Indiana, watching Indiana over the years. Every year, every other year they would come to East Lansing, and I'd say, man, this team looks bigger, better. It's just watching them in warm up, and he's done a hell of a job turning it around. And I kind of this year Friday when we were there, this team is getting bigger, more athletic. You saw the difference. Give us some takeaways from Saturday's scrimmage. How did the O-line? First of all, how did the quarterback play look?
Well, the quarterback play looked pretty solid. I mean, you got Peyton Thorne and Anthony Russo battling it out. Anthony Russo, the transfer in from Temple, looked very good in the 2-minute drill. He had some errant passes, but he definitely has a huddle presence about him. The guys do want to play for him. He's not the fastest guy on foot, but he makes good decisions. It's little things as far as getting comfortable with the offense that you really can see in him in the 2-minute drill. He was able to get the ball and get down the field and put the ball in the end zone, whereas Peyton Thorne is a guy who's going to run around. He's fast, he's fleet of foot, he can throw on the run, but in pressure situations, he seemed to want to hold on a little bit. So you want to get that, some of those things worked out. But they both played. I mean, you can't really choose one or the other right now. I mean, I'm really splitting hairs when I'm talking about how close these guys really are. And, you might have a situation where they both play. I honestly can see that.
I would say that they're both going to play. I mean, you have a senior that came out of the portal who's got a ton of experience, and then you have a younger, really tremendous potential that I saw the way him zinging the ball around. That he's got to get live reps, live bullets too. I mean, so you're probably both going to play. If I had to pick, I think he'd go with the steady hand, maybe the older senior kid, but I think they're both going to play. How did the O-line look? I mean, really, when you look at Michigan State football since 2013, so goes the O-line, so goes MSU football. It's really, when we won in the trenches, really the O-line and D-line. When you look at that 13 team, that 14 team, that 15 team, they're –
Jack Conklin. Yeah. Happy birthday, Jack, by the way.
Oh, it's his birthday today?
Yeah, it's his birthday today.
Happy birthday, Jack. How did the O-line look? How did the D-line look?
Hey, so the O-line is much improved. You have healthy guys out there finally, and the addition of Jared Horse, who's the transfer from Arkansas State, has brought nasty back to East Lansing. I'm talking nasty.
Yes.
Unmitigated. This guy, we joke and laugh because, he's so nasty that you hope he doesn't get a penalty. He's that aggressive out there. He's very aggressive.
About damn time. We haven't seen that in years.
Oh, yeah.
Get after somebody.
That's right.
Pick guys off the pile.
And he's wearing that right number, too, 79. Man,
little Jason Strayhorn.
Little Tony Mandridge.
Thank you. I thought you were talking about yourself.
I was talking about Tony Mandridge.
Oh, I thought you were talking about yourself again.
It ain't about me.
Oh.
It ain't never. No. Listen. You love you some you. No. It's not about me.
But he looked nasty. He looks tough, big, physical.
Oh, physical.
Yeah.
Exactly what you want.
Was he playing the left side?
Yes.
Yeah.
Left tackle. He's a big fella. Defensive line looked very good. I mean, you saw, a play made there by the transfer from Minnesota. I mean, you have some big athletes out there now.
He was bringing it. What's his name?
Yeah.
19? His name mistakes me.
You know what? Let me tell you something. I need, with all the new players.
Yeah, 40-some new transfers from the portal.
I was there and I didn't know
anybody.
How many of them, the freshmen only play. The new guys usually only 3 of them play, maybe.
Yeah.
4?
Yeah.
That's a good class. And now we've got 40 new faces, and probably 25 of them are going to be playing.
And that's why I think, it's going to take a while for mesh and gel and build that chemistry and play together. And I agree with you. I was there and I didn't know who was who, and I was totally lost. And I said, who is rolling?
Jansen feels my pain. He talked about it last week. I don't envy you at all.
Yeah, I mean, here you are. You're the radio.
Yeah.
Now you got to go back and you got to rememorize the whole lineup because
the entire lineup.
Because you're right.
Everybody's
every year you got 5 or 6 new names and faces that are playing.
That's it.
And I mean, I was lost. And nobody has a name on there. They passed the eyeball test.
They look
good. I love
good.
the pace of practice. I love the organization of practice. I loved everybody flying around, yelling, screaming. I loved the energy. It was just great, man, to be out in front of all the people. Just live ball outside. steamy
ready
grass.
to go. Yeah, it was hot.
It's hot. It was muggy, and they were hitting that sled, and it was just, man, it was just nice to be back up there and see real people and live bullets, man. I mean, it was great. It was great to see. How did the secondary look? Can you really tell?
Secondary, they look improved. They look like, they're well coached all the way around. I mean, this is something Harlan Barnett, the position coach, how good of a coach he is as a secondary coach and a defensive coordinator. And then you have, the old ball coach Mel Tucker spending a lot of time.
He's a joy, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, he's
raspy voice. He's hoarse. He's got that
he's
straw
hoarse right
hat
now.
going on.
It's the middle of camp. I mean, we love Mel, man. He does it the right way. And he's over there drilling with all those the defensive backs, secondary guys. I mean, he coaches them up, man. They look good. They're going to be fine.
Honestly, what I love is that when we went up to his office and Coach D walks in like it's his, and I love that. I mean, the way that, I love that. Welcome them back. I mean, it's yours. It's the program. That's how Tuck is, right? Former players all welcome. Coach D, it's your house. You built it. You do deserve. I mean, history will treat you kindly. You are the winningest coach in MSU history, and you took us to heights that nobody ever thought we could attain the right way. Yes. And I mean, I just loved seeing him there and walking through the office and talking to people and just feeling welcomed and feeling like it was still his home.
Yeah,
and I think that's what Tuck does so well, is from former players to anybody associated, just you're welcome. You're the program. You're this, you're that. I mean,
true open door policy.
It's an absolutely true open door policy. I mean, I really, really enjoy seeing Coach D there and everybody hugging him and talking to him and grabbing him, and it was just nice to see, them so
grabbing him. Why are you getting so physical with the guy?
I mean, I just, because I want to hug him because I love Coach D. I mean, I just love him.
Leave the man alone.
It's just
Becky don't like all that, man.
I know, but just to this day, that the day he turned that program around was that 07 speech after that game. It's not over. It'll never be over. And I mean, from then he took it to new heights. And I mean,
you talking about the Mike Hart interview?
So Mike Hart's back at Michigan.
Yeah, that's a big segment,
which is good
Mike
for us.
Hart
good
being
for us.
back at Michigan.
We should call him, get him on the show. What do you think?
We could probably do that.
Yeah, we should get him on the show and ask him why would he make such a stupid.
Great recruiter, man. He's made up.
He's
for
absolutely great. He's actually wasn't he ranked as one of the top recruiters in the country?
Absolutely, down in Indiana.
Yeah.
As a position coach. Before that, Eastern Michigan. Now back at home in Ann Arbor.
I'll tell you, that guy's done a hell of a job at Indiana. You mentioned Indiana. Is it Tim Allen?
Yes.
Done a hell of a job. Boy, he's turned that program around.
Yeah, he has.
I mean, he's, that's not an easy place to recruit. That's not an easy place to win. That's not an easy place to get resources. That's a place that thinks it's a basketball school, that thinks that their expectations are through the roof when it comes to basketball.
But he's homegrown, though. See, and that's the thing. That's the value in homegrown. I'll say that, as far as anything that you're trying to do, when you're finding people that understand the culture, and you need to give them a chance in any position in life. If somebody is in your organization or outside the organization, they really truly understand your culture, promote them.
Homegrown, you talk about Indiana, you talk about Michigan State, you talk about the Big Ten, and then you talk about you see Texas and Oklahoma defect into the SEC. SEC's making a power play. And then SI writes an article, right? We read in SI that realignment, that the Big Ten and the Pac-12, Big Ten, Pac-12, and ACC, I believe, are looking at forming some type of alliance, merging, having discussions, informal discussions. Where is college football going? Man,
this is going exactly where our last time, our guest last week, John Jansen, was talking about. He called 2 conferences. And, I thought it would be more of a slower 4-conference, then eventually get to 2. But it looks like it's off the rails, and it's going towards a 2-conference, like just 2 massive conferences, breaking away from the NCAA probably in the future. And with these crazy TV contracts.
But how does the Big Ten merge with the Pac-12? How does that happen?
You got to do it.
What, are we flying to L.A. to play a game?
Absolutely.
They should be merging
Big Ten West.
They should be merging with the Mountain West. I'm just joking.
We already have a natural,
We do because of the Rose Bowl, and we have a natural.
Yeah, the Pac-12 it's. I know it sounds crazy, but they're a natural fit.
NIL name, image, and likeness is speeding this up, is speeding this process up. I mean, everybody, all this stuff is moving at a warp speed because it is an arms race, it is an NIL race, it is a super conference race, money, 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 TV, TV, TV. But I saw one deal that was very interesting that made headlines this past weekend about BYU. Very, very interesting. BYU, what is the nutrition bar? What was it again?
Some break bar or something.
Yeah. Where
all we know is the guy cut the check, like for a serious number.
The guy cut the check for every walk-on.
36 walk-ons.
Full scholarship.
Get a full ride.
For 36 walk-ons. That is a very unique BYU deal. I mean, is this where we're headed?
Absolutely.
Or are we already there?
No, we're not even close.
We're not even close.
We're just scratching the surface. It's going to get crazy. We're not even
close, are we?
The creativity. There's really no rules, like none. Besides, the school can't have any involvement. That's the only real rule. They can't facilitate. And you, as a player, are not allowed to use the emblems or the images of the university,
logo of the
logos
that are trademarked,
or any of their stadiums, any of that. But they're going to get around. They're going to find a way. I mean, because that's. I mean, please, if that's all the rules you have, anybody's game. Every mind out there.
I'm not even sure how this is. Which way? I don't even know if there is a way this can go. It's all every way.
Every single way.
That's my point. Like it's every. Who knows? College football, as we know it, is done. Let's just be honest. It's done. It's over. This is no longer an amateur sport. It's gone. It's over. And It's been over. It's been over. It has been. Do we have any footage of that BYU? We don't have any footage. So where do we go from here? I mean, where does it? How does it stop? How do we get the older coaches, the ones that are dead set against this? If you don't embrace NIL, you're done. You're done. You're done.
Plain and simple. Because no one will come. You won't have any athletes. Coaches, listen up. Embrace NIL. Run towards it. Hug it. Don't let it go. Be creative. But you stay out of it because that's the rules. But as far as the young guys out there and the donors for any respective university, tip my hat to you because, let the games begin.
Yeah, well, now they're beginning. Now they're beginning legally. They've begun a long time ago at some places.
You're gonna have guys, making paper airplanes and selling them for $50,000 a piece. Don't hate the messenger.
I'm gonna bring some of these these MSU players and bring them to Spartan Wealth and have them sit on the table and just throw a piece of paper and we'll just pay them.
Just pay them.
What do you think? Sponsor Spartan Wealth?
Just tell the NCAA about it. That's what we're doing.
There literally is no. I was up there asking. So how does this go? What can't they do? And everybody said that there are no rules. There's only one. There's two rules. You can't pay a recruit to come, and you can't use the trademark or the logo if you're a player. Yeah, like you literally,
the coaches can't have anything to do with it.
The team can be wearing Nike. Yeah, coaches can't facilitate meetings and that. But the team can be wearing Nike, and you can do
an Adidas deal.
An Adidas deal. You just you can't use the Spartan emblem or the Block M or whatever they use, the logo of the school. That's just crazy, crazy stuff.
No rules.
So, if there's no rules, how do we find a common ground?
When the casualties hit.
When the casualties hit. How do we find the common ground? Jason Strayhorn today says when the casualties hit. What does that mean?
So there's going to be casualties in the NIL. There are going to be players who abuse the money that they are given. They will not do the things that the coaches are telling them to do, and they will be in Vegas for the weekend when they have 15 minutes off. They're going to do things that they shouldn't do. Anything that a 18 to 22-year-old kid with a lot
You
of
mean
money.
to tell
would
me
do.
if I'm an 18-year-old and I have somebody put $200,000 in my pocket, I'm going to act differently?
Oh yeah, most of them. Most of them. I'm hoping that we're putting the guardrails around our children so that they. But look, who knows how you going to act when the lights are on?
Right? When the lights are on.
We're going to find out what you're going to do with the lights on. Now, when you give a 19-year-old $800,000 or $1 million, the lights are on.
I mean, this
okay?
is wild.
They're on.
This is wild stuff, man. I mean, the whole NIL discussion has fascinated me because if there are no guardrails around this thing like a national guardrails,
Man, that's 5 years from now.
I mean, after all the casualties, is that what you're saying?
That's exactly when everybody crashed and burned, and it's somebody of a stature where they feel like, oh, we got to do something about this because we lost him.
Do you
then,
have
then it's going to change.
Do you have a prediction for us? We're going to end the show, every show, with a prediction.
Oh, my prediction's easy. I look after
Nostradamus.
Yeah, when I looked at the preseason games this weekend, man, let me tell you something, man. The Rookie of the Year, you hear it right now, will be either Trey Lance or Justin Fields, man. Chicago Bears. He looked outstanding out there, man. 230-some pounds, running like a deer. Actually said the game was much slower than I thought, which could be the kiss of death, or he could be, he might be the real GOAT. And Trey Lance looked outstanding out west. Look at that. Look at Justin right here, man. Makes it look easy.
He threw it 3 yards. Don't you think we're jumping ahead of the gun?
No, man. He did a lot more than that. Hey, hold on now.
Anyway, my prediction, my lock of the week. All right? My lock of the week, nobody can handle. We'll talk about it at a later date.
Your lock of the week.
We'll talk about it at a later date.
You ain't telling nobody nothing.
We're going to talk about it later on.
Okay.
Anyway, we want to...
Trey Lance, Justin
There
Fields.
he is, Trey Lance. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. This is Brian Wasalam. We appreciate you joining us alongside my co-host, Jason Strayhorn. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Good night. God bless.
Good night. God bless. Go Green.